Hello, everybody. Oh shoot! I hope you didn't see my mouse. Today's discussion is going to be about the headmasters. Now, I know these four aren't the headmasters. Only two of them are headmasters. And well, yeah. So here's my theory. Based on the show so far, each headmaster has died either to one of the villains. Ozpin died to Cinder. Salem killed Lionheart. Ironwood is the next in line. So my theory, if it's sound, Ironwood will be the next headmaster to die based on what's happened so far in the show. Now, I don't have any real concrete evidence other than the fact that 2 out of the 4 have already been killed off. Now, I would have to say that my theory is actually pretty sound. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance that I'm right. Ironwood may survive. I don't know. That's why I'm doing this video now before the final episode for first members, of course. But I just want to say spoilers will be in this one, possibly. So far, Ironwood has been seen to be making harsh decisions, and he wants to combat Salem the best to his ability. And what happens when you try to fight back against somebody so far in the series that you can't win against? You end up dead. Ozpin had no chance against Cinder, really. I mean, he did have a chance, but obviously it didn't work. Lionheart was a coward. Was a coward. So, right off the bat, he lost. Salem killed him. But I don't know how Ironwood's going to die. Either it's going to be at the hands of Salem, Cinder, because he hasn't had any, thing to do with Cinder, really, yet. Cinder or Salem, or, let's see, who else? He could be killed by somebody new. Who knows? But I have a theory, and I've talked to other people who said the same thing, that Ironwood could die this volume. And actually, they say he will die or be killed. And I see the same thing for possibly Penny could die again, and possibly Winter. But that's not for this video. I'm discussing why I think the headmasters could possibly be killed off. Remember everything that each headmaster went through to get to that point where they died. Ozpin tried to keep secrets. Ozpin tried to convert the Maiden's power over to Pyrrha. He worked all the way up to his death trying to, do that. And he failed, unfortunately. Each headmaster has failed at what they tried to accomplish for the greater good. Now, let's see here. As for Lionheart, what he wanted to do was to peacefully help Salem so he didn't have to worry about getting killed or being an enemy of Salem and being killed off. Because after what he heard happened to Ozpin, he was afraid. And instead of standing his ground like any other headmaster would, he went against everyone and, well, it got him killed. You see, running away is not always the best option. In his case, it definitely was not. But every decision that each of these headmasters made, these 2 so far, have led up to their death. And these, Ozpin's was probably a noble death. I'm just going to flat out say it. It was a noble death. He tried really hard to protect something and to make something happen, and it ended up failing, but he tried. Lionheart, his was not noble, it was cowardly, and I honestly don't like him for that. I mean, I understand being afraid and everything, but he took it a little far there. And quite frankly, no, I do not accept any of his decisions were good. None of them were. I understand his viewpoint, like, we can't stop her. We have to, just let her do what she wants. No. Throughout history, people have never let that get in the way of what they want to happen. And that's what Lionheart forgot, is that humanity will always come back. Humanity is the strongest force when it comes to never giving up when it comes to a cause they believe in. Whether they do it violently or peacefully, that's another story. But humanity, when they want something, they'll get it. Or if they want to protect something, they'll get it. They'll get it protected. And that's what Ozpin was all about. He wanted to protect people from Salem. Ironwood wants to flat out tell everyone about Salem, which he already has told everyone in Mantle and the council members in Atlas. He's basically told everyone in that kingdom. The rest of Remnant doesn't know who Salem is yet, because they don't have Amity Tower up quite right yet. But, like I said, everyone who's tried to go against Salem has ended up dead. All the headmasters, well, the 50% of them anyways, have ended up dead. So I have a feeling in this last episode, Ironwood will be killed, or at least severely injured by somebody, to the point where he'll have to step down as headmaster, and general, so he'll pretty much be useless at that point. But he's not a villain or a bad character. None of the headmasters really were. It's just Lionheart went about it the wrong way. Each headmaster has had their own views and opinions on how to go about things during the whole series. And that's the thing about politics, and yes, this goes into politics, is everyone has their different views on everything. Ozpin had his views, Ironwood had his views, and Lionheart had his. People who villainize Ironwood obviously don't realize how much worse Lionheart was, because he literally assisted the villain. But ultimately failed, of course, because he was dumb. And, well, not dumb, he's just cowardly. So, if you want to know where this image came from, or this scene, it was when Pyrrha was taken down into the very bottom floor where the Autumn Maiden was kept. Now, we don't know where the Relic of Choice is kept because Ozpin, he put it somewhere, and we don't know where. But it's probably a good thing. But my theory of where that relic is, maybe it's in the Colosseum. Just a theory. But I'm not going to go into that because this is about the deaths of the headmasters. But the one thing Ozpin did do a good job of was hiding the relic. Ironwood is doing everything he can to protect it. Lionheart's just like, here, Salem, take it. But in the end, she didn't get it. Because she had other people doing her work for her. That's another thing. Salem is finally doing something right by confronting humanity herself. Because if you can't get something done right the way you want it, you do it yourself. Now, that sucks for our heroes, though, because Salem's coming to fight them head on. Anyways, back to the topic at hand here. So, I do in fact believe that Ironwood will have some kind of altercation that'll either have him killed or seriously injured where he'll have to retire from being headmaster and general, possibly. Actually, he might end up in a wheelchair for all we know. All I know is that each headmaster has had tough decisions to make, and they made them based on their best ability on making decisions. Some better than others, some more extreme than others, but they've all made decisions that led up to a fatality for themselves, or, injury. So far, Ironwood's only been injured throughout the whole altercation. But other than that, it's a possibility that Ironwood may break the trend and not actually be killed off. And I want to see whether that happens or not in the next episode, which I've paid for first membership, which once Ruby's done, I'm probably going to, I'm going to end up removing my first membership because I don't go through the Rooster Teeth, I go through Verve. But premium membership, there we go. I only do that when Ruby comes out, and then I turn it off to save money. But that's not the issue. Or not what we're talking about. So, in conclusion, Ironwood could either continue the trend of Headmasters being killed off, seriously, or he could be the first to just be seriously injured to the point where he has to step down. Or he could be the first to survive and actually succeed. He might break the trend, that's all I'm saying. But we don't know. I don't know, because this is going to come out before. I'm recording all these videos that I've done so far before the episode actually airs. Because there are opinions and topics I want to get out before then. And quite frankly, I feel like this is a pretty sound theory, just like my relic theory and my opinion of Ironwood as a person and a leader as a whole. Now, I feel like there's going to be a few people who disagree with me on these videos for multiple reasons, but I stand by what I say because I believe that what I've talked about here and in other videos for the Ruby discussion series that I'm doing are based on fact, opinion, and theories. So you can either take them as fact, theory, or opinion, depending on which you see it as. But, like I said, so far, based on what has happened so far in the series, Ironwood may die next. Who knows? He may just be injured, have to retire, blah, blah, blah. All that. But one thing's for certain, something seriously bad is going to happen to Ironwood before the end of the volume in this last episode. I know it. Now, if I remember correctly, it was the last episode of each volume, or each arc for each kingdom, that said Headmaster has died. So, we have this last episode to look forward... Wow, that was dark. Look forward to is not the right word to use when it comes to somebody's death. I mean, a possibility of Ironwood's death. We don't look forward to it, but it's a possibility that could be seen in the future. Anyways, I'm going to end it here. Thank you all for watching. If there's anything you want to add on to this theory, opinion, fact, whatever you want to call it, please let me know. And comment below what you think. And So we'll see if this comes out to be true or not. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.